What's up, everyone? Welcome to the Power Play CJ Prospect Profiles. Today we're going to focus in on current member of the Edmonton Oil Kings and top prospect for the 2013 NHL entry draft, Curtis Lazar. Pretty good sized kid at 6 feet and 190 pounds, and is in his second full year in the Western Hockey League and has 12 points through 17 games after recording 31 points through 63 games last year. Will not turn 18 until February 2nd, so still young. The numbers don't jump off the page at you, but we'll get back into that. Last year with the Pacific Canadian team at the U17s had 3 points in 5 games, and come up big last year in the playoffs for Edmonton. Had 19 points in 20 games. That's really where a guy like him's game is going to succeed. He's really a gritty center, and I'm not going to go so far as to make a Mike Richards comparison because I don't think the offense is quite there. But this is about Richards too, and look at the player he's turned out to be, and he's a great mixture of sandpaper and skill. And I think that's what you get with Lazar, a guy that can kill penalties, can play the grit and tenacity in the game, and then put some pretty decent numbers on the board. The numbers don't necessarily jump off the page at you. Like I said, 12 points through 17 games. But when you do everything well, you're kind of a jack of all trades. The numbers really aren't that important, and I think to a certain degree you overvalue guys' numbers because I think you look at a guy in the queue who can put up, X total point, 2 points a game. McKinnon's averaging, like 2.5 points a game, and that's not a knock on him. But you look at Lazar playing in a different system. Edmonton went to the Memorial Cup last year, Western Hockey League champions, and a very, very good team. And you're looking at playing with veteran guys around him that he can learn from. I think that's more important than is he putting up these great offensive numbers? Because the other thing is, if you learn the nuances of defensive hockey, how to play a full and complete 200-foot game, bring in the sandpaper, bring in the grit and tenacity on a night-in, night-out basis, you really don't have to worry about putting up high numbers because you're playing your game and you're getting your points through that way without worrying, without sacrificing the other facets of hockey. And I think that's important. And I think that's what you're going to get with Lazar. I think he's a full package. I think he's going to need some time to develop, but I think when it's all said and done, come next June, he'll be top 15 anyway. I was going to say, top 15 and 13. And I think that's what you're getting. I think you get good value with the pick and a guy that can really do a number of different things and really be I think prototypical. I think he can be a second line center. That's exactly what you want. That can do everything. And like I said, getting the full package that's good at everything but not excelling but doesn't excel at one particular facet. I think those guys are undervalued because if you get a guy who can help you in every way because a lot of times you get a guy that's great at one facet of the game, but something else lacks, and that takes away from it's adverse to the team. But I think he's a guy who's going to help you and be a constant winner for years to come by the team that drafts him. That's all I got this episode of the Power Play with CJ Prospect Profiles on current member of the Edmonton Oil Kings, Curtis Lazar, and he's also top prospect for 2013. Stay tuned for more episodes throughout the season and beyond. Later, guys.